This is the Spirit and Wellness Show. News and information from a higher perspective. With your host, Harry Wilkinson.
Yes, hello. This is your host, Harry Wilkinson, after a few technical difficulties, and welcome to the Spirit and Wellness Show. This is the show where we take a look at the days and weeks events, happenings in the world of politics, happenings in the world in general, and we take a step back and we look at it from a higher perspective. And from a higher perspective, I'm talking about, what you might think of as perhaps a metaphysical understanding, although metaphysics is quickly becoming quite almost indistinguishable in a way from quantum physics as we continue to learn more and more about the mysterious ways that things such as particles and bosons and energy waves create our world, and how we create them through the power of our mind. Which is a good segue into what we're going to be talking about today, which is the power of the mind to heal, or mind over medicine. But in our approach to taking a step back and looking at things from a higher perspective, we come from, at least I come from, the point of view in which we are creating everything around us. Now, granted, it's at a higher level than our everyday awareness, because we exist on different levels. And at the highest level of our being, where we exist, we are one. We are part of a connectivity. We are part of, I use the term divine mind often, just as a descriptor. But that we basically are much more than our physical selves. And yet we also exist in our physical selves. So at the highest level of our being, we are creating this world with events that challenge us in the physical world. And we are creating them to have these experiences. But we often forget, or don't realize, or in fact, in the way that some people have arranged it for their world, they don't even believe that there's more to them than the physical body, and that there's more to what's going on around them than just what they see or hear or are able to immediately respond to. So in that sense, we create a sort of virtual scenario or a game for ourselves in which we are sometimes the heroes, sometimes the losers, sometimes the protagonists or the antagonists, and sometimes we're all of those things combined. And at the highest level of our being, of course, we are, because we're creating the whole thing. So in taking this view, in taking this step back, we are able to go into situations that you might find troubling or uncomfortable or just puzzling, and we're able to tell the truth about them. We're able to go into them and recognize that they are creations. Amazing creations, but creations all the same. That they are not the truth of who and what we are, and they are not the truth of life, of what is truly real. And once we have that understanding, we can take energy from situations that are troubling to us and recognize them for what they are. Appreciate them even for the level of detail, for what they bring to your awareness, the challenges they present. And that empowers you to, well, empowers you to do many things. It empowers you to not feel like outside forces are doing things to you. It empowers you not to feel victimized, but to understand that find yourself in a wiser, more powerful, more aware, and stronger state of mind. So I do this show to remind me of that, and along the way I hope that those who get a chance to listen to it might be inspired and reminded as well. And I think it's an important skill. And I lump it together. I'm not lumping it, but I put it together with wellness. That's why I call it the Spirit and Wellness Show. Because I really do believe that that point of view, that approach, is a wellness issue. It's a wellness approach to dealing with a toxic environment. And when I'm talking the toxic environment I'm talking about isn't toxins in the air so much, or toxins that we're breathing in, but toxins to your mind and your emotional well-being. When we live in a world of 24-hour news cycles and constant communication through all kinds of means, whether by your cell phone or your social media, your computers, your tablets, we're being bombarded by all kinds of information. And the only way to really cope with that in a non-stressful way is to take those things in. And use them in the way that I described, otherwise, you're being bombarded with information, and let's say you're upset about the latest dealings in the White House, or let's say you're upset about global warming and the damage that's doing. You can go into those scenarios, those situations, and you can understand them for what they are, rather than letting them stress you out and make you fearful. You can go into them with an understanding of what they are and know that it's going to be all right. And it is going to be all right. And it is a healthful way to deal with all of the information that we are bombarded with, to give you a peace of mind, to keep you balanced, to give you hope. But not even hope so much, just to be, to live. And so what we're going to talk about, as I said, health and the mind. And I thought it would be an appropriate topic since, healthcare is much in the news lately. You might have noticed. Speaking of those things that might push your buttons a little bit and cause you a little bit of anxiety, well, you know, healthcare in this country has become a problem that many of our legislators, doctors, insurance companies, and medical professionals and paramedical professionals find very daunting and challenging and difficult to wrap your head around it. And there's a lot of reasons for it. A lot of a lot of dependence on things that are market based. Medicines in particular, where the cost of medicine is out of control, and we can't seem to find the political will to rein in those costs in a way that would make healthcare more affordable to people. So, in any case, I don't want to get into another debate about healthcare. I'm sure you've heard plenty of them. But I think understanding how the mind affects your health can really help in keeping you healthy. In a world where you might or might not have access to, healthcare coverage or adequate, or what the medical establishment deems as adequate care, it's helpful to know that there are things you can do to help heal yourself. And one of the big problems, as I mentioned, is medications. It's pretty clear that we are an over-medicated society. It's one of the tragedies that keeps coming up alongside the tragedies that happen with guns and shootings in this country. Where it seems like every year you keep hearing more and more about more shootings and more innocent young people are being killed. Well, another one of those kinds of tragedies that just keeps happening, and seems to be invulnerable to attempts to change it or make it better, are the enormous amount of deaths coming from prescription opioids and addictions that are coming from prescription opioids. So many, and we've seen this time and time again with talented actors and performers who they get sick, they have an operation, they're in pain. They begin to take pain medication. And they become very quickly addicted to this pain medication because the pain medications that are out there now, for addiction. So,